Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we have a review and install of the modern Billet Upper Grille Overlay in black, fitting your 15 and newer Dodge Challengers. This is perfect for those of you looking for a budget-friendly way to update the front of your Challenger. This one-piece grille overlay features a classic horizontal bar design that adds detail to your existing grille. It features a durable billet aluminum construction with a gloss black finish. It features a classic muscle car design that hugs the inside of your headlights, and modern Billet also offers a lower grille overlay to match. So as far as price goes, this one comes in at around $100, making it a budget-friendly way to change up the look of your factory grille. I'm giving this install a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. The easiest way to accomplish it is to remove the factory bumper, which will require drilling out of the plastic rivets in your wheel well liner. All in all, this should take about 2 hours. So with that said, let's jump into our install. For this install, you will need a pair of needle nose pliers, flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, a pop clip removal tool, a ratchet, an extension, 10 and 7 millimeter sockets, a 5/32 drill bit with a drill, and a trim panel removal tool. All right, so the first step to get your grille installed is to remove your front bumper. We're gonna start by removing these plastic pieces on top of your ride support. Moving the hood release to the side, just sort of slide this plastic piece out and pull it off. Now you can repeat that with the other one. Now with a pop clip removal tool, remove all of the pop clips that hold on the top of your bumper. Moving on to the other side, continue to remove the rest of them. All right, so we moved underneath of the vehicle so that we can remove several splash guards and also remove some bolts out of the lip. We're gonna start with a pop clip removal tool, and we're gonna remove some of the pop clips right at the front of the splash guard. Now we're moving on to the corner of the same splash guard. We're gonna remove 2 more pop clips. One on the bottom, and then a second one right on the side here in the wheel well area. Moving on to the other side, there is 1 pop clip in the wheel well area. Get this removed. Next up, we're gonna remove 4 10 millimeter bolts that are holding on your splash guards. Grab your 10 millimeter socket and get them removed. And remove it off of your car. Now with a 7 millimeter socket, we're gonna remove all of the bolts on the bottom of your lip. All right, so at this point, we're moving on to the wheel well. We do need to remove some plastic rivets. This may look a little intimidating, but with just a small drill bit, you drill out the center and they should come right out. With your bit, drill to the center of the rivet. Now with a flathead, or you can use needle nose, go ahead and pry it out. Repeat that for the next 2 rivets. Now there's also going to be a pop clip here. Get that removed. And there's also another one that should be right behind your wheel. It's not on our car. So now we're going to move on to the other side. Repeat that on the other side. Again, we're removing a pop clip right down here as well. And on your car, there may be another one right in here that ours is missing. Now you can see one of the bolts right on the inside of your fender and bumper. With a 10mm socket and ratchet, get this removed. Again, now we're back under the hood on the other side, between the fender and the bumper, removing that 10mm nut. All right, now there are 2 more bolts on each side that you need to remove from the wheel well area. With the rivets removed, you can peel back your wheel well liner and you'll see one 10mm bolt that's right here on the bumper, but there's a second 10mm nut that's all the way on the inside of the fender. You will not be able to see this, but you can remove it with a 10mm socket and a long extension. Now we can do the same thing on the other side as well. Now we need to release the bumper from its clips on each side. All you do is grab the inside of it and pull back. Repeat that on the other side. With the bumper released, go ahead and grab it and remove it off the car. Make sure your fog light harness is released. Press down on the tab and remove the connector. All right, so now that we have the bumper removed, because of the trim package of our Challenger, we do have to remove these 2 trim bezels here. Your Challenger may not have these, but if you do, we're gonna show you how to pop them out right now. You'll see several clips around the outside here. We need to release all of these so it can pop out of the front. So with a trim tool, or you can do these by hand or with a flathead screwdriver if you're careful, press down, and then you'll be pressing them forward. You're just moving along the trim piece, releasing them one by one. Repeat that on your other trim piece. Now you can lay your grill in. The longer end will go underneath the headlight towards the bottom. Now that you laid it in place, we're going to install the hardware. Now there's 4 mounting points, so you're going to slide a screw through each of these holes. Now you can spin the clip nut over top of your screw. We're going to turn it in most of the way back here, and then we'll tighten it on the front side. Repeat that with the rest of your screws. Now you can take a thin Phillips head screwdriver and tighten down the screws from the front. It may be helpful to hold your grill in place so you can line it up exactly how you want it as you tighten it down. Repeat that for the rest of your screws. Now that the grill is installed, we can finish up the installation process. We have the bumper close to the vehicle for now, and before we get it installed, we're gonna plug in the fog light harness. Line up your connector and plug it back in. Now that our fog lights are plugged back in, we can line up the bumper on the vehicle. Line up the posts on each side, both threaded studs as well as a plastic post in the corner. Just go slow and line it up. Now that the bumper is reinstalled, we can reinstall the hardware that holds it on to the fender. Thread your 10mm nut over top of the stud, and with your 10mm socket, tighten it down. Reinstall the pop clips in the top of your bumper. Now you can reinstall the rad support cover. Now we can reinstall the nut that goes up inside your fender. This is the one you might not be able to see, so go ahead and thread it back on, and then we'll tighten it down. And reinstall the 10mm bolt that goes through your bumper. Grab your 10mm socket and tighten it down. Now, in place of these rivets that we had to drill out, you can reinstall rivets. However, if you don't have a rivet gun or you don't want to spend the money on one, you can use just small pop clips instead. So that's what we're going to use here. Line them up to the holes in the bumper and press them in. Repeat that on the other side. Now we can reinstall the splash guard underneath your lip. It goes between the lip and where it mounts to, so it may take a minute to line it up. Once you have it, slide it in place. Now you can replace all of the 7mm hardware in the bottom of your lip. Grab your 7mm socket and tighten it down. Now you can line up the second half of your splash guard. Line up the open holes as well as the threaded clip nut. Thread your larger 10mm hardware in and tighten it down. Repeat that with the rest of your hardware and tighten it down. Install the same 10mm bolts at the back of the splash guard. With your 10mm socket, tighten them down. Reinstall the pop clips. There's 3 at the front of your splash guard. Reinstall the pop clips at the edges as well. And again on the other side. And on your driver's side, there's also one right underneath it. Finally, replace the last one at the bottom of each wheel well. All right, so that is gonna do it for the review and install of this grill overlay. And remember, for all things Challenger, keep it at AmericanMuscle.com.